Hello and welcome to another episode of Between the Studs. I'm your host, Daniel.
I'm Chris.
You do that every time. No, we're doing it again. And he's Joey. And we're talking about Lego sports today. We can never get a clean intro. It's all right. The history of Lego sports. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to talk about is Lego sports one of the most hit or miss Lego themes that they've ever made. It's got an interesting turning history with lots of weird gaps and reboots in it. So we're going to cover all that today for all you Lego sports fans out there. So let's kick it off. We got Joey. We got Chris. Why don't y'all start by talking about what's your kind of interest in Lego sports or sports in general?
I would say that Lego sports could have gotten me into Lego, and here's why. I was at Tuesday Mornings, the store, and they used to, and I can't remember how long ago this was. It might have been 2008, but they had the Lego soccer stadium. It's all one big piece. It's dark green. It's about 2 feet long.
That was one of the later ones they did, yeah.
And they had it at Tuesday Morning for like $10. Wow. For the whole set.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this looks like a fun game I can play with my son, who was maybe a toddler at the time. And so I bought it, opened it right up, started playing with it. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
And that really got me into playing with Lego as an adult, I would say.
Yeah, the theme has always been very focused on play and actually something that, you know, is more than just build it and forget it and look at it. This is something that even adults could engage with in a play aspect, which there's definitely something to be said for that. How about you, Joey?
I've been a huge soccer fan my whole life, and so when I first started getting back into Lego as an adult, kind of in college when I have a little bit more time and disposable income, one of the first sets that got me back was the Barcelona stadium, the Camp Nou. It was on 40% off on Lego's clearance, and I was like, all right, I have to have this. And I love it, and now I collect a lot of it. With you, actually, a couple years ago at Brickfair, Virginia, we found built maybe the exact set Chris is talking about, the 11v11 full soccer stadium, which is harder to find now because a lot of times you find the like 5v5 or 7v7 ones. And the full 11v11 US version, I got it at the convention, and I was so happy I brought it home. I built it, I played with it.
That was the one with the dark green big single molded piece? I think it was the Grand Soccer Stadium.
Yeah, it's one of the large. I don't think it's the big single molded one. It's the one where you connect them, but it's the full size one, and it's amazing, and I love it.
Yeah, I think it's probably 11v11. Yeah.
So the gameplay in that soccer stadium is so good, and so is the basketball.
Yeah.
The gameplay is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a lot of work on these figures to get them to function well, and I mean they do. We did another video with Justin too, where we did, what was it, the Brick Olympics or something? We'll make sure to link that down there, where we had a basketball challenge shootout, so you could get the most buckets in a minute or something. When
we first opened our party room about 9 years ago, maybe in our old location, I built a really nice full court basketball stadium. Glued it together. That's actually, I think that is part of it.
This is half of it, yeah.
and then also built a football stadium. And the whole idea with the football stadium was it was a game that I made up. It was like almost like a foosball table, but for football. And then I Lego-fied it and made it into a Lego game. It's still over at the storage locker.
That's really cool.
But we had those in our birthday party room for the kids to play with. Within 2 months, kids just destroyed it. Just totally broke it to pieces. When it's glued together, it's broken.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no
what we always
fixing
say,
it. So we had to take them out of our party room because the kids were just so destructive with it. You just can't have anything nice.
Yeah, not with young children around.
I was trying to put the other half of this together, and the basketball hoop, which was glued in there, had just sheared off. So
that's old. That's been glued for a long time.
Yeah, we've had it for a while for sure. You were talking about football. That's one of the notable things that they've never touched. I mean, with Lego sports. I mean, we've got soccer, basketball. They did gravity games as well in 2003, which covered skateboarding and snowboarding as well. There were the big half pipe sets for the snowboarding, the downhill, the skateboard half pipes and stuff, which was interesting. So never touched football.
And hockey, they did hockey.
Hockey, yeah, they did the Technic figures.
They touched football with the mystery minifigure.
Yeah.
In series 9?
Yeah, there was one with a
maybe
football
series 6 or 7.
Maybe.
I can't remember, but
Jeez.
it's Peyton Manning, I think, is the football player.
I think there's a notable reason they've stayed away from football. It's a similar reason as to why a lot of people speculate we don't get a lot of named athletes now from Lego, is they're concerned about the public perception of that particular athlete.
Sure. Something can change.
Yeah, somebody loves that athlete today, but tomorrow he may do something in the public eye that is just frowned upon, and Lego doesn't want to risk their reputation on that. And I think, unfortunately, football has been known to have a little bit more of that amongst their athletes, at least historically. And they've kind of taken a page out of that and avoid it all now.
It's certainly possible, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Antonio Brown.
Well, it seems like every 5-10 years or so, the was it the NIL laws change or whatever about the whether or not you're getting profitability off of their likenesses, and that's how you get the
all the
Madden
licensing
games
as
and
well.
stuff.
We spoke a little bit last week in a video about the icons of play, the women's World Cup soccer set, and how none of them are wearing their national team's jerseys. They have their names on the back because they attain that individual licensing from the athlete and their team, but they never had to bother reaching out to the full nation and get their licensing as well.
Yeah, super interesting. Well, let's see. We already touched on soccer a little bit. That was one of the longest-running sub-themes of LEGO Sports from 1998 to 2006.
So was 1998 like the first appearance in any sports?
98 was the first appearance listed under the LEGO Sports line. Whether there were other things prior to that, I'm not sure. I couldn't find anything. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I can't either.
But yeah, that was the start of the official LEGO Sports line with the soccer. Like you mentioned, we got the big soccer stadiums, but we also had just a plethora of little side builds and polybags and things. You want to talk more about that?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too because we'll start with the stadiums. They are some of the most iconic pieces of LEGO soccer that they ever made, yet they're not under the soccer theme. They are standalone. They believe they would, I guess, be considered icons now. But yeah, we got 3 of those large stadium sets: Real Madrid, Manchester United, and Barcelona, and they're amazing builds. But they're not even classified. Same with the German national team CMF series, which is my personal favorite CMF series, and they were European exclusive, I believe. So it makes them a little bit harder to find in the U.S. But they were sorted to commemorate the German team that won the World Cup. They came out like a year or 2 later, so there's a couple notable different players in there. But they got the manager, the captain, and a lot of that core. And they are super fun. I know that people still buy these, not because they care about the figures, but because they want these dual molded arms.
The parts are crazy, yeah.
The dual molded arms are still exclusive to these, and people buy them all the time. But
the face prints, too. They're just great face prints.
Yeah, they are. And the legs are very unique, too. So if you ever wanted to do like a running outfit or anything, like they work well.
Sure.
But yeah, that is one of my favorite pieces of my collection. When people come over, they're like, "Oh, I've never seen that before."
And it's so neat, and yet they never did it again.
Yeah,
they could do it every year.
Well,
was it so?
When Messi won the World Cup, if they had printed a Messi figure, it would have been maybe their most popular selling minifigure of all time. Like he is arguably the most famous person in the entire world.
What is he, a soccer player?
You said arguably, Joey. You have to argue it.
I'm wearing his jacket today, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, especially since we've seen what he's done since he's come over to America and played for Miami. Like I live in Florida, for those of you who don't know me, and the impact he has, like the amount of people wearing soccer stuff and Miami stuff is incredible. And people that have never even cared about the sport now love him and love the game. And if they brought that same thing to LEGO, like we talk about, I think LEGO Sports in 1998 and throughout its run does a great job of bringing new people into the hobby. And I think if they make these big notable sets with these big notable players, it'd get more and more in there in the future generations as well.
Yeah.
Well, so they started it with the 2002 NBA All-Stars?
Yeah.
Were those the first licensed characters, maybe?
I think so. There's a soccer set from the original wave. I don't know exactly what year it came out, where Zinedine Zidane is shown on the boxes, and he has a figure, but it's not officially licensed as him. I'm not sure if that was before the NBA ones or not, but I think he's kind of that turning point with them as well.
I love those 2002 NBA All-Stars. Always have. I love their legs.
Yeah.
I love their arms, the way they're different so they can hold the basketball.
Yeah.
But it tells me that it just never works very well for LEGO because they never do it again.
Yeah.
They did the Olympic figures one time. the Great Britain Olympics.
Yep.
They did the soccer team one time. They did the 2002 NBA All-Stars, which are immortalized in the Lego movie.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that was.
Hey, look, it's
that was a
Shaquille
great
O'Neal
reference.
in the 2002 NBA All-Stars.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, why did they do them? And at the time, they probably won't talk about it anymore, but they were, at the time, it was okay to talk about race and things like that.
Sure.
And they did say at the time that they were trying to reach a different demographic
Sure.
of people.
I wonder if the licensing fees and costs with these are just so extortionately high. Like we know we see Star Wars and Marvel tax and things like that in those themes, but I wonder if because they have to reach out to, like Daniel mentioned, the NIL and the licensing, are they having to contact the team and the player for their rights, and does it just cost too much to attain a lineup for whatever it may be to produce now? Because they had, like, these NBA figs had to have sold well. Like, they are collectible, that people love them now still. I feel like there's no way that there was a complete flop for them, but their cost must have just been too
And
high.
I don't
They
know.
had
if
the
did.
cards too,
Yeah.
which were probably made by Upper Deck.
Yeah.
So Upper
They're
Deck
high
made the
quality cards.
They
They
are.
got embossing.
And
they got foil.
They
on
come with the
Yeah.
cool stands as well, and then the figure to match it. And they sold them in these awesome little 3-packs, and so you could get your favorite player and some others too, and display them, trade them with friends.
Yeah, it was like the Rock Raiders or the Star Wars,
Yeah.
the Ninja little mini packs. These were the ones they by far made the most of because there were so many
And
different
if
people.
you were a Karl Malone or a sports card fan,
Yeah.
you would probably cross into the Lego genre and get this
Sure.
card.
I mean,
'cause
we
you've
have a
gotta
Kobe
have it.
Bryant one here, right? And
A
like,
quality card.
he's one of the most popular and famous NBA athletes of all time. Like, surely somebody would care to have this collection.
So,
Yeah.
so these were not actually very popular when they came out. Lego wasn't as popular
Sure.
in 2002.
it was some of their worst years.
It was
were
some of the
closest to
worst
going
years,
bankrupt.
And they compared to modern minifigures that they make of people, these are weird looking.
Their
Yes.
head prints and faces are notoriously bad.
Yeah.
And their hair especially. I think there's one that has a molded hairpiece, whereas the rest of them all have them printed, and they have vastly different hairstyles. I mean, we're talking across races and cultures and ages. Some of these players were only like 18, and some of them are almost 40.
Yeah.
And so they did not do a great job encapsulating what they really looked like as people.
Yeah.
So I was always into these guys, and probably going back to 2005, 2006, 2007, maybe.
Okay.
And these were
Are you counting?
less
You have
than
to keep
$1. Listen, these figures were less than $1 each on Bricklink,
That's crazy.
and I would buy them in bulk.
Yeah,
It was before I even started selling Lego.
yeah.
And I was just like, oh, these are licensed minifigures. These
Yeah.
are going to be worth something. And I bought so many of them, hundreds of every figure, and just sat on them for a long time. And eventually they started selling it for
Sure.
honestly, I didn't say it. I was doing this on purpose, but it was about $6 or $7
Yeah,
each. And, I was probably, the most expensive one was Shaq. And he was maybe $8 I was selling him for, but I was buying him on Bricklink. There used to be huge arbitrage on Bricklink
Sure.
before it got popular. Things were cheap on there. And I was even less than $1 a piece for Shaqs.
So I've started recently buying and trying to complete my collection of all the named NBA athletes, and I only have a couple left to finish, but I have spent hundreds of dollars on this collection because there's 2 Shaqs and 2 Kobes, and they're the notable ones, right? They're the big guys. They played on the Lakers. Unfortunately, Kobe's passed, and that's done a lot for his collectibles as well. But the one Kobe figure is like $200, and the other one's like $70, and then the Shaqs are $50 a piece. So you're talking $400 or $500 just for those 4 characters, and there's a complete lineup of around 50 of them.
Kobe was not expensive until he passed away.
Yeah.
And then he the first thing I did is look on Bricklink just because I know it's morbid and bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't buy any, but I was like, okay, here's his price. I think he was maybe around that $40 range at the time that he passed away, and then he shot up to about 80.
Yeah.
And what's he at
He's
now?
like the away one, the purple one that's harder to find because it's in the full set, is around $200, I believe. Last time I checked, it's been a few months, so it might even be more than that now.
We have this keychain here of him too. Same one, Kobe in the purple outfit, and even as the keychain, he's $100 used.
Well, actually, the keychain's probably rarer than the minifigure.
Yeah,
could be. People, it's just less collectability there, unless somebody's looking for everything. But it's cool. It's neat.
Even some of the cards have gained value now. Like most of them are still $1 or $2, a couple dollars.
Here's my gripe. Here's my gripe about the cards. That these stands that they made, and they made these for Star Wars and Ninja and
Rock Raiders,
City. Is that when you put the card on, it damages the card.
Yeah. Well, I put one up here for display, and I made sure that it was the cheapest, the lowest one that was already on something. I didn't put the Kobe one on there.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea, great idea.
Yeah.
Just poorly executed.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, not great to damage your cards right out of the gate.
Yeah, come on, Lego.
You were talking about some license sets earlier with like characters on the box. So I did find one here from 2000 that was the set 3406 America's Bus, but this is 340602, which is officially licensed with the French team at the time.
So it's a weird thing they did. They had multiple versions of all these buses and stadiums and everything. They had U.S. versions, Mexico versions, France versions. Those are the three I know of. I know there were others as well, but they released many of them for different markets, and it's very interesting to see. I know, and the sports theme is cool too because they started with stickered torsos, and then they eventually graduated over to some printed ones. But sometimes you see these stickered ones with the national team's jerseys on them, and they're very cool to see, but they did not hold up well.
Yeah. These ones appear to be printed torsos. They're all the same torso. The faces aren't unique or anything, but they got the picture of the team there on the box, and it says, World Champions 1998, European Champions 2000. So.
And this is, I believe, the same way they got the Zinedine Zidane one. So that's the whole French team.
Yeah,
but there are a couple sets where it's just Zidane on the box, and there's a figure that is his number and his jersey. It just doesn't have his name on it.
I thought they did have one with his name on it.
I don't think so. I think Bricklink may have updated the name like they've done with some of the Star Wars characters as well, but I don't think it has it printed.
And
the French team.
They also, I think they made a Coca-Cola soccer player, didn't they?
So we were talking about this in our video last week with some of the worst sets we think Lego's ever made.
One of them.
Coca-Cola had like 10 or 15 sets we saw with branded with Lego here, and some of them were players and they were cool add-ons, but they seem to all be like DLC almost, is what we were talking about. Some of them are as boring as just 3 parts, a windscreen and 2 1x3 plates, and you put a sticker on it with the Coke logo to advertise, or a little street light that doesn't even have Coke written on it, but on the poly bag it did. So we were trying to figure out the origin of them.
It doesn't even say Coke. I mean, there's a guy running here with his arms up. Maybe his jersey says Coke on it, but
you know what? I have seen a Zidane on the back of a jersey. I'm almost positive they made that minifigure.
Yeah, I mean we could search. No, so it's Z-I.
The one I found was just in terrible
D-A-N-E.
condition, unfortunately.
There's an E at the end too. But yeah, we were trying to figure out the origin of some of these Coca-Cola poly bags because it seems like there's about 10 or 15 of them, and most of them are extremely boring and seem like it wouldn't be something they'd charge money for. And so we've always been confused as to were they like redeemable codes if you purchased a 12-pack of Coke, or were they handed out at festivals or events? And I'm still curious on the origin of a lot of them.
Yeah, so also from 2000 we had 3401-2. Again, probably the -1 was without the license figure. -2 is the shoot and score with Zidane Adidas minifigure, which is pretty cool there. It does have the Zidane printed on the back of the torso. Let's see. One minifigure here. Up to $20 new, looks like.
It's not
fairly
bad.
fairly cheap.
He's a more standard city one, so
just
he's
hard
like
to find.
It's really just the torso.
And it's not done
The face
particularly
is
well, but it is cool that we have the Adidas brand
leg is
logo on
nice.
there, and then obviously Zidane is one of the most iconic and famous players of all time.
Also, what was cool about the soccer sets is the advertising that they had, on the stickers that they put around the thing. A lot of Adidas ones.
Yeah. Well, we have they did a bunch of different printed balls as well. And so this one right here has Adidas, and it's based off one of the World Cup balls.
Those have gotten expensive.
They have. Yeah, even just the standard ones are a couple dollars each.
Rightfully so, because they're really cool.
Yeah.
And easily lost.
Yes.
This contributes.
But there's like 6 or 7 different printed branded
Both
ones.
of you?
And
I think there really are 6
yeah,
or 7.
and like there's a few different standard ones. You know, the black and white one. This one here with the pink logo on it, the orange one. But like this one here, there's a red one. There's a blue one. There's a blue
like
and yellow
pearl
one.
gold one.
There's a
Wasn't
pearl
there,
gold
too,
one.
for the World Cup one.
There are genuinely about 6 or 7 of the cool printed design ones, and they are awesome because one of the best parts about like World Cups is you think back on them and you try to remember their iconic moments and the balls that they use. Like the Jabulani made the South Africa World Cup, and some of these other ones are just so iconic.
My only gripe about this soccer stuff is the stickers. Just look at that sticker. I mean, it's all peeled up. This is the for those listening, this is the soccer stands that you build with the lights, which is meh. You know, it's just you see a lot of these and it's just kind of boring. I know they're but anyhow.
So I think their vision
stuff
with
was
them
cool. I mean, they had this cool logo and all the different country flags and stuff going around. It was very
and they look
very
Zagan's
early
on the instruction
2000s.
manual right here.
Yeah, there you go.
The team bus sells for a lot. That's
Yes.
always been a very expensive one.
I think their vision with these sets is they wanted to sell everything you could possibly want to build your own stadium and the surrounding environment for it, because a lot of it was mix and match. And so you'd buy a small set and another small set and you'd build a bigger stadium, or you'd build an obstacle course for passing and training and shooting. And so they thought it'd be awesome to have all these cool, unique builds, the stands, the buses, things like that around them. But most of them everyone wanted to play with the actual set and the soccer balls. So this kind of just fell by the wayside.
Well, I think you put it right. You call it like DLC, right? You know, you get the big stadium and you buy a bunch of these little side packs to enhance it, I guess. I don't know. The buses did sell well because, they at least had the stickers with the different country flags and things on.
Now, we do have, with Lego's lack of licensed sports minifigures, there are customizers who make them.
Sure.
And we do resell them on our website.
Yeah, we just
and
added
they
a
look
bunch
pretty
of
cool.
We added a bunch of baseball players, which Lego also never touched.
Some more relevant and current basketball players as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think a couple of the classic football players. We talked about how Lego never touched football, but we have a few on there. Some of the greats.
You were talking about the printed balls as well. I'm gonna go over to basketball here as well. They did a printed one just with the stripes, and then they did one with the Spalding and NBA logos on it too, which is worth a fair bit more too. So any of these printed and licensed little ball pieces, if you got any lying around in your collection, maybe worth a little bit more.
You know, honestly, that's probably like a thrown away Lego piece too. People don't realize it's Lego.
Yeah, no studs. Doesn't really say Lego anywhere on it, near as I can tell. So yeah, I'm sure easy to throw away or get lost for sure. Well, let's see. I think we've covered basketball and soccer pretty well. Gravity Games, like I mentioned, had the snowboard half pipes and things. Those had kind of some interesting play features. There was this crazy giant long wand piece. You know what I'm talking about? I should have grabbed one of those.
Here's like some of the slopes for the. They had this really long here it is right here.
Yeah, there was a long straight one and then the long.
You had the back
pipe.
of the Millennium Falcon, that hose, the tube
Yes.
part. This is a really cool set.
Yeah, we
for
got
play features.
3538 here. What's it called? Snowboard border cross race.
Yeah, the snowboards are weighted so that they stay on their feet better and they fly down the ramp.
You can spin them around too, which is really cool. A lot of them, the tiles on the side are close enough that you can spin the snowboarder. As long as he goes fast enough, he keeps gliding down.
Yeah. Well, what I was saying, there was that wand thing too. It was like a giant tan and dark blue thing.
Yeah.
You could put them on the end, and there was a trigger that would make them spin as well, so you could pretend they're doing tricks and stuff. But I don't know if Gravity Games itself was
This is a sealed
more popular, but
this is a sealed set.
looks like it.
Yeah, this is from 2003. $200. That's. Seems
Hey,
about
you get
right.
you get a Legoland California complimentary child admission with that. That's a $34.95 value right
Very
there.
nice.
So.
Another cool thing they did with these is, so the snowboards are weighted too. We were just talking about that, but they did so many fun prints on them and colors.
Oh yeah.
This one right here we have is red with a really cool.
Oh, it's like a minifigure design. You got the head and the hand.
We got
and the
white,
legs there.
yellow,
That's
and blue
kinda
on the
cool.
front. We had a couple down in Orlando for a while, and we would play with them all the time in the store.
Yeah.
And some black and white ones with cool, almost cheetah and zebra designs on them. There's some really cool stuff out of this line.
Yeah, for sure. And then the skateboarding stuff as well. Again, skateboard players on lots of sticks and half pipes and things like that. So not as well loved. There was also some McDonald's tie-ins as well, some McDonald's Happy Meal toys and things.
Well, we have a couple of those right here.
With the larger, there were some soccer ones here. I think there were also skateboard ones for those, but yeah, this giant ball piece in this one is crazy.
Now that's a Lego piece that definitely gets thrown out.
Yeah.
This one does at least say Lego on it. There's also like the giant hockey pucks that go with these guys, the like slammers, that did also say Lego on them. But yeah, I have found parts to these soccer and hockey players in the trash bin down in the sorting room before, for sure.
So I've never gotten into this style size figure. They're hideous.
Yes.
They're hideous. They're made with bionicle parts.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
And they're just, I really don't like it. You slam down their heads and you hit the ball. They made a minifigure scale.
The hockey ball?
The puck, yeah. They made a minifigure scale hockey one, which was better. But
also for CMFs.
These guys are just so hideous looking, and then they have this giant like hockey board, and they're always torn up and messed up, but it is licensed. It says NHL on it.
It had NHL. There were a number of like the team logos around the side in that set, from what I remember. I think they had all the licensed team logos.
Every single, it came with every single NHL team.
Yeah.
Wow. Stickers that you could put on it.
Yeah, a lot of these guys had the stickers too for NHL or some of the specific teams. That was cool too, just because it was like a frosted clear piece of plastic, but they printed on the bottom, so from the top it looks kind of icy too. So a cool technique there,
but
at the very
it
least.
Just
but
came and went.
Has not aged well.
never came back. So I'm assuming it didn't do that well.
Yeah.
Just like any of these.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we've talked about CMFs a bunch at this point, so we know they did cover baseball players in that. We got at least, 2, 3 baseball players? Because there was a batter, there was a...
I think it was just 2. There was a
catcher as
guy
well.
with a glove,
right,
and then a guy with a bat.
Yeah, okay. We got the football player. We got another hockey player.
There's a soccer player, too, the one in the jersey that almost looks Argentinian. People kind of imagine it was Maradona or Messi.
Yeah.
Just the blue and white stripes with the little trophy.
Yeah, so we got a number of sports figures through the CMF line as well. And then we got some, you were talking about the larger stadiums as well, the gift with purchase for the, what was it, the Real Madrid?
Barcelona.
It
had a couple of them in like fans and jerseys around the fountain.
With the lamppost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, they came out with the Lego minifigure in 1978. And then they went the entire 1980s and a whole decade without coming out with anything sports related. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until the late 90s where they really started integrating sports. So you're looking at, what is that, 20 years?
Yeah.
With no sports? I bet it's because Lego didn't want to support sports because it's competition to sitting and building bricks.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
getting outside and touching grass.
Now Lego is popular enough.
Yeah.
That they don't have to worry about
I think a little bit of it might have been company culture too, right? Like Lego is a Danish company and they are not enthralled in sports as a culture. It's not in the way that America is. And so I think they might have been finally kind of adapting to the market, especially we talked about it being in a struggling time for their business. I think they might have just been looking for any reason to get people into the product.
Yeah. Well, I feel like just sports in general just became more popular in the late 80s and 90s and things. Every kid was on some soccer team, t-ball team, something like that, and you had jock jams, music coming out and all that kind of stuff. And this all was definitely in that 90s aesthetic of how popular that had become. All right, let's see. So we talked about most of the classic stuff at this point. There was kind of a weird gap period from like 2015 to 2019 where we had these are listed on Bricklink, but these random like baseball mascots that were presumably like giveaways at the stadiums. There was like I'm gonna pull these up.
Real Lego?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Let me pull them up first so y'all can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's news to me. I don't remember anything like that.
Baseball might be the sport I know the least about, so it's not too surprising for me to be lost here.
Well, it's such an American sport, and being a Danish company, they've not that and football.
Yeah,
soccer is kind of like that international sport.
And basketball has done a lot of growth across the world too. They've got the leagues in Australia and Asia and Russia.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Yeah, so here we go. So in 2015, we had the first one. There was a baseball player Lego Day at AT&T Park 2015. So had a
Oh, cool.
don't know if it's
mini
printed
build.
or sticker. Yeah, basically like the monthly mini builds you would get like at the Lego store. It was
So
kind of a
San
mini land
Francisco Giants
style character.
figure. That's great.
Then we had the Lou Seal, I guess is the San Francisco
Giants again.
mascot. AT&T Park. And then let's see what else we had. We had a Red Sox player in 2016, basically an identical build there, and then Wally, the Red Sox mascot, as well. And that one actually came in an interesting package. I imagine the other ones were probably just in bags or something if they were giving them out at the stadiums.
That's cool.
That year in 2019. So an interesting kind of time period there.
I do like that Friends touches seriously. They touch on Lego Friends touches on sports a lot. And Stephanie is the soccer player.
Yeah.
So she has her own goals here.
I feel like
we just got a big haul in, and this was in that haul, and this is $30. That's gone up quite a bit, especially for a friend set.
Sure.
And that'll sell too.
Yeah.
So
I feel like City's touched on. I think City did like a street hockey set or something, like with the newer road plates. So a couple of the unlicensed themes we'll touch on.
and
now
for
and again.
skateboarding, definitely. I mean, they've done a lot of
skate
skateboarding.
parks and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, for sure.
That's actually might be one of the most represented sports.
It could be, yeah, because they've been doing it recent. Because there's one that also has like the wheelchair guy doing on the skate park.
Oh, extreme sports. Did we talk about that? Because these were the gravity
Oh,
games.
Lego Island Extreme Stunts.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
It was the extreme everything. Like they had windsurfing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we should have talked about before. Because I imagine this is pre-98. I don't know. Let's see. No, 02. So yeah, around the same time, early 2000s.
This was just kind of lame, though.
Yeah.
It was the whole extreme team thing was a little on the lame side.
Yeah, it was partly supposed to be a time with the Lego Island 2 video game release, I think, or maybe it was 3. I can't remember. But yeah, I don't think these were super well loved either. They also had a lot of weird molds and weird colors in it in a time where Lego was not doing super
They really
successful
haven't
with that.
appreciated very well, which you can kind of. That's a good judge of if something did well or not.
But you got your pepperoni, you got your Brickster, you got more Infomaniac minifigures. The Extreme Tower was one that was maybe a little more popular, and then the skateboard challenge had the half pipe and like a slide that you could make them run down. I think we talked about that slide on our last rare parts video as well.
I love these half pipes. When I built a city, my first city, I had to include a half pipe in there, but there's not much you can do with them play feature wise, functionality. I really tried to make something that I could play with, and you couldn't play with it.
Yeah.
It's cool looking, but it's just doesn't hit the mark.
Yeah, I think a lot of these unique molds they used on all these themes were very difficult to integrate into other things besides the game or the set it came with. We were talking about the little wand that holds the snowboards, and that's an awesome piece. It's very unique. It's got like a trigger on the bottom, like a lever on the top, spinning back and forth. It is literally useless for like any other application of Lego. There is nothing you can do to enhance any other experience with that.
Now, I have seen these half pipes used well in mocks because it is a larger curved surface. So some of the new Hashima guys used them upside down for like subway tunnels and stuff underground. I've seen them used for like the undersides of bridges and things as well to get that nice larger curvature. So there's some utility in it, at least in the mock community. What you looking at?
This is a pretty rare card. We've got a whole bag of cards, Lego cards that we have found over the years, and this was in there. And it obviously came in a set. You've got.
It must attach to something, yeah.
It's like all the people, the fans that are behind the basketball backboard. It's got the NBA logo, but you also have Johnny Thunder in the stands.
Yeah,
which is
see if I recognize
pretty neat.
anybody else.
He must have been coming out at the time.
Yeah.
I imagine this guy was in some studio sets.
But what's that pig lightning exclamation point sign?
Yeah,
It's
I don't
so
know.
strange.
It's like a rebus puzzle on here, but pig thunder.
I like the fact that
Wink,
this being
lightning.
double-sided, I imagine it attached as a backboard, and so facing the court here would be the fans, and then facing the fans would be the basketball player dunking.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
get that optical illusion of both at the
Looks
same
like
time.
a jumbotron or something
Yeah.
with all the TVs. But yeah, a lot of the soccer sets as well had like paper and cardboard kind of inserts, things for like changing the score, things with holes to try and shoot the ball through. So a lot of fun paper ephemera there as well.
They really went all in on these soccer.
Yeah, they made a
sets.
lot of sets.
They made so many, even with McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it really was worth it.
Yeah,
You know, because
and
they
soccer wasn't the most popular sport in America at the turn of the century. Here.
They haven't. They
really.
haven't done it since. So.
Yeah.
But for a McDonald's toy, let's see if these were made in China.
But yeah, we had the McDonald's toys. We had the Coca-Cola promotional poly bags. We had
Yes.
4 versions of every single one of these sets they released because they wanted all the different national teams. And it was a very high volume of sets. If you go on Bricklink and search for sports and you end up under soccer and how many pages of sets there are, it blows your mind.
Well, because a lot of them are those little poly bags,
Yeah.
Coke things. Like
Because if you think of notable sets under that theme, that you can only think of a few.
Yeah. There's only a couple other things we skipped over. So in 2012, we also got the Team GB Olympic athletes as kind of a CMF wave there as well. These were not licensed. They were not really characters. They were just generic, shot put, and I forget what all the other ones were, but different minifigures representing each of the different
Those
Olympic
were
sports.
more popular than the German soccer team, I
Yeah.
thought. Those
Think
were
so.
super popular.
Yeah.
People loved them. It was a great way to get new sports elements.
New
you
accessories, yeah.
know? I thought those were awesome, and I was so disappointed they haven't done it since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the
Definitely
downfalls of the soccer ones is despite the figures themselves being amazing, they all came with the exact same soccer ball, and so there was very limited stuff you could do to kind of engage them with the rest of your stuff.
Well, in a lot of the characters, no one wanted.
Yeah.
They wanted Mueller.
Yeah, Mueller, Schweinsteiger, Mesut Ozil,
And that
Manuel
was-
Neuer,
that was
and that was
pretty
kind
much
of
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool they did the team manager too as an inclusion, and not just the players.
Joachim Lowen there was a great addition. I think like if you're a die-hard soccer fan or like you love the German national team, then like obviously you want to complete the whole collection. But yeah, most people just want their favorite athlete.
Yeah.
And how many, like you said, I mean, how many soccer teams are there?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
why would anybody in another country want the German soccer
Yeah.
team? But they did only come out with them in Germany.
Yeah.
It had to be in
It's a
Germany.
little bit narrow casting.
Germany and Austria. They were selling them in Austria.
Yeah. But they made 16 of those for the DFB team, but only like 9 of these Team GB Olympic athletes, which is probably one of the smallest CMF waves ever, because 16 used to be the standard. Now it's down to 12. But yeah, it was like archery, tennis, swimming, it was like horseback riding or something, boxing, baton race, karate, weightlifting. I don't know what this one, gymnastics. So lots of different kind of generic figures there, but some cool accessories nonetheless. One other thing I thought about, in 2016 there was a one-off promo set as well with the Olympics for the mascot for the Rio Olympics. Every year, with the Olympics, they some graphic designer comes up with these little goofy animal mascot things, and so they actually released a Lego set of the Rio mascot for that one as well.
So we got a lot of those when it came out, and we paid a premium for them. We knew people that were there, and they were bringing them back to us. And
Yeah.
they never ever appreciated and valued.
Yeah.
People just didn't care.
I don't think those masks, they serve their purpose while the Olympics are going on, but after that,
If I remember correctly, it was a stickered part, and it just wasn't that cool.
yeah, not that great. But let's talk about the modern state of Lego sports here. We already touched on the larger stadiums as well, but we have a couple more sets to talk about. I would say the first one in the kind of modern era of Lego sports to greatly disappoint was the Lego Ideas set for the foosball, or table football as Lego ended up calling it, set that came out. If you look at the original Ideas submission, it would have been way better than what we ended up getting. But Joey, you look like you want to talk about this.
So I'll talk about the whole modern state of it. Foosball or table football is disappointing because they shrank it massively. I imagine it was to comply with their quality standards. They want to make it playable and durable for people to use. But it's not a great model. When you spin the handles on it, it doesn't really move all that well. It's very expensive for what it was. You get really no unique figures in any way. They're all very, very boring and generic.
That's
It was
the
a
one
wide-
that came with the Star Trek figures.
It was a wide variety of figures. Yeah, the Star Trek figures. It was a wide variety of figures, but not based on anything, really. It's just kind of a minifig.
Joey, who would you say
Battle
the
pack.
best foosball player is? in our company.
In our company.
Oh.
Um.
Well, on a technicality, I was going to say Ryan, but I don't.
Yeah.
Ryan's
I was
technically
also
in
gonna
the
say
company.
Ryan, but
He doesn't count. Ryan doesn't count.
what about Randy's husband? Does he count?
It's
Andy,
yes, he does count, and it's still me.
Yeah, you were trying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Flounder probably
No,
counts.
Flounder's not very good at that. I
Well,
don't
he would
think.
go over to Ryan's all the time. I thought maybe.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
Chris, you
it's
can have
gross.
it.
I played
You
a
can
lot
have
of
it.
foosball in college.
Mhm.
Give me some.
Yeah, the
some
table football
credit.
set was a disappointment, but it's not my least favorite modern sports set. I'm gonna get on my little soapbox here and talk about how disappointed I am with the icons of play. When this set was announced, being the biggest soccer fan that any of my friends know, I could not have been happier. I was excited to get some of my favorite athletes, some notable female athletes that have been stars of the World Cup. I mean, America won it three times in a row, and I wanted to support that. I wanted to see a cool build, maybe something along the stadium line, something awesome. And when photos eventually came out of this set and we saw what it was, I could not have been more disappointed. Maybe the worst set of all time. It is my least favorite set of all time. It is half of a field made out of tiles with no real play feature. Figures kind of just float around on tiles. Half the parts in the build go to like side stands that don't matter. The players are not in their actual uniforms or jerseys. It's a very small selection. We only got 5 notable athletes. It's terrible, and I think it has unfortunately killed the future of Lego soccer.
Yeah.
And that it breaks my heart.
You can tell they didn't do that for profit.
Yeah.
They did it for marketing.
This one was
Pure
permanently
image.
40% off. I get the luxury of being able to go to the Disney Lego store all the time, and when a good set comes out, it is sold out immediately there.
Yeah.
And when a set is not selling well, they have a lot of them on their shelves. And so as they approached the holiday seasons last year, they had maybe hundreds of these spread around on the shelves to fill in holes where everything else was kind of empty.
Yeah.
At 40% off.
We went there during COVID to the Disney Spring Store, and they had one Lego set on all the shelves.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It
got like that last year for Christmas as well.
and
had
they
like
still
a
had a
Halloween
line to
set
get
left
in.
over. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's an
It was
experience.
like
It's
to
an
see
awesome store, but their inventory is short sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just such high volume. But this one is one they always have in stock. It is unfortunately a terrible set.
So
Yeah.
Joey, it looks like there is a play feature. There's a crank on the side of the stands. What does that do?
We think it moves the characters in the stands up and down as though they're cheering.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't know why they'd feel that the best way to implement a play feature in the set was in the stands and not with the athletes.
There's something going. The goalie's at least attached to an arm or something. You can move her back and forth to try and block shots. But shots made by who? These people that you're just going to move around like board game pieces and just kick the ball, I
Yeah.
guess? I don't know. It's a far cry from the early days of Lego soccer in a lot of respects. I mean, the early ones we had licensed stuff too, like on the boards around the side. There was Adidas. There were the Coca-Cola stickers you could get in the side
Even
packs.
just their own Lego brands on there was awesome. Like we
Yeah,
got a little bit of
this
Octane
has
on there.
Sport and Octane.
That one has a good one. Look, it says sport.
Yeah. it's a sport. Oh, okay.
And this is, as we look on Bricklink, one of the only sets categorized under the sports theme in years now, and it's really a tragedy.
They just wasted parts on the wrong thing. Yeah, the stands are huge to integrate this
And there's stickers
lackluster
on
play
them
feature.
too.
We've got a trophy stand, a bench with the manager. We've got some like cones for running drill, I guess, and a crate full of water bottles. Like, you're putting the parts in the wrong place. I don't know. It's.
I mean, there's
tough
not even
to
net
see.
on the goal. It's
Hey,
just a frame.
I've got a good idea for
Hate to
a
see it.
Lego soccer set. Welcome to Wrexham.
Yeah,
That would be a cool set.
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this person's got a flag that says football on it. In case you forgot. Well, anyway, yeah, that's the modern state of affairs with Lego soccer. So let's talk about what would you all like to see going forward out of Lego sports if we get more sets under that subline, or even if we get more icon sets like stadiums and things. What would y'all want to see in the future?
Two things. More licensed characters.
Yeah.
I love licensed characters. I think they're so cool. I love how like Chris Pratt has how many different characters,
Yeah.
you know. So especially with sports teams, sports logos. If you're a Braves fan, how cool would it be to have a torso with a Braves logo on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and be able to make whoever you want, plus the little hats with the logos on them.
Yeah.
The CMF figures that are the baseball players, their uniforms are cool. They've got the pinstripes, and it's like the team names are funny. What was it? The Clutchers or something like that.
Oh, the two baseball teams. Yeah,
Yeah,
one was the Clutchers and one was the Brickers or something.
Yeah. So licensed characters and then cool play features.
Yeah.
You know, something you can actually play with,
Yeah.
like the old soccer stadiums and the basketball stadiums.
Yeah.
That basketball game is awesome.
It is. And the
That's
soccer
very
one's
cool.
amazing too.
Clutchers and Stackers, my bad.
Stackers.
Yeah,
They developed unique
Stackers was
pieces
the
for both of these. I mean, besides
the
even the
fielder.
base plates, so the basketball players, they're on these fun little rotating stands, and they've made the characters themselves actually have the springs and unique arms. But for soccer, they did it a little bit differently. I don't know if we're gonna have a piece, but it's a similar attachment point at the bottom, but because they obviously kick the ball instead of throw it, there's like a little pressure point on the back, and it'll allow you to push the ball into the ground and pass it along. And it's such a cool play feature, and they're awesome.
yeah.
You know, like the modern ones fell flat.
Yeah.
Why can't they just do what they did back then, and it worked so well? It's so cool.
Yeah. Again, there were obviously a lot of specialty molded parts that went into this. All the parts for building the field or the core, the bases they stand on. Even the minifigures themselves went through one of the greatest designs we've seen probably up until now. We're about to start getting the smart figures, which are going to change a lot of things with minifigure design. But, I mean, these had metal springs in them, the specialty arms that could grab the ball. They could bend down and pick it up
The arms locked in place.
and launch it, you know, at the just right trajectory to get up into the hoop. So it was a little bit of an engineering marvel, but obviously required a lot of money spent on both the research and the molds to develop that.
I think CMFs could be a good future for sports. I mean, we've seen it with F1 and the athletes. Obviously, we didn't get the naming rights, but we got the team rights, right? So that could be a good way for them to cut their costs a little bit, introduce a small isolated section. Maybe we get an NBA wave, an NFL wave, a soccer wave, a baseball wave. There's a lot of options for them to go and keep it isolated, not have to spend crazy amounts on licensing for years.
Well, and the more you do with just the teams, like Chris was saying, you know, you also avoid the risks of being associated with any one person's name, like you were mentioning.
Yeah. And then I'd love to personally see more of those large icons like stadium sets. As a soccer fan, there are some beautiful, iconic, historical stadiums that would look amazing in Lego form. Like the Allianz Arena, Bayern Munich Stadium, would be incredible. It's this amazing kind of domed round structure with lights, and they could do it with like red translucent tiles, and it would look amazing. I don't unfortunately think that we'll see those just because of kind of the sales on some of those last stadiums. Since they've retired, people love them, their values have gone up, but while they were out, they were all on clearance. They struggled to move them. And so I don't see Lego thinking that that's a great investment for the future.
Yeah.
So here's a prediction that I have. So you have a lot of off-brand, and I'm saying it's off-brand, but it's not. It is licensed products. So like you have Fantasy and Fun Hole and Kobe and stuff like that. And the quality of their kits is getting so good, and they're licensing products.
Yeah.
Lego could never license all these different sports teams, all the different types of sports, you know. So I think you're going to get more niche companies that are targeting certain things and making.
Well, I believe it's Nanoblocks has been making the stadiums for a while for baseball and for soccer.
But the
college
problem is
sports
they're
teams even.
terrible, and they've
Nanoblocks is one of the worst ones.
People have paid us to build those for them because they're not fun and they don't work well.
Don't stick,
And it makes the team look bad when they do that. It makes the whole sport look bad. So a good quality manufacturer is going to come along, not Lego, and start doing stadiums and bobbleheads and stuff like that. But they can't do minifigures. Only Lego can do minifigures.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction. You're going to have some, and it's going to draw people to these off brands or alternative brands. We're already seeing it. People are not caring as much that it's not Lego because the quality's still there.
Yeah. I mean, even with some of Mega Block's more like poor quality sets with all the Pokemon stuff forever, we saw how much that license was important. And people come into the store all the time asking for Pokemon sets, and they want to trade us Pokemon sets. And so Lego acquiring that license was huge for them, but as you mentioned, they're not going to be able to obtain hundreds of licenses for sports teams and genres.
There's only so much Lego could do, so
Yeah.
other companies are going to come along and,
Yeah.
and do those licenses.
I hope we get some great CMFs going forward. I think it's a good way, or smaller price point sets with named characters. There are some athletes that are almost untouchable, like Messi. He's been in the public eye for 30 years, and he could do something heinous tomorrow, but it's unlikely. And even if he did, people probably still wouldn't care, as crazy as that is. So there are some athletes that are almost at that untouchable level. LeBron is probably one of them as well.
Scattaboo and Jackson Dart.
They might get there one day.
Yeah.
People do love them. But yeah, there are some of these untouchable athletes, some of the tennis players as well, like Nadal and Federer. Like, if they made these athletes, it would not tarnish Lego's reputation, even if something happened with them.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your opinions about where you think we're going with Lego Sports and what you'd like to see in the future. If you're watching this video or listening to a podcast, let us know down in the comments what direction you would like to see Lego Sports going. If there are any interesting, notable sports things that have been made out of Lego that we missed, let us know all that down in the comments below. But otherwise, thank you all for joining us for another episode of Between the Studs. Thank you to Chris and to Joey for joining me today. And we'll see you next time on Between the Studs. Take care.